All right, so we're talking about the quadratic formula today. And the discriminant we talked about before is this part right here. And the quadratic formula is awesome because you can solve any quadratic with it. Graphing, you can see if it happens to cross like this, it works really well. But if your parabola is like up here, it won't touch and you can't solve with graphing. So solving by graphing doesn't always work. Solving with factoring sometimes works. Say it comes out to this, 5x plus 1, and then x minus 2. You can set this part equal to 0, and that part equal to 0, and x equals 2. And on this one, 5x equals negative 1, x equals negative 1/5. The point is you can get your answers this way too with factoring, but what if it won't factor? Then the only way that always works is the quadratic formula. Okay, so that's why it's so huge, because it will work for everything. All right, so today we're going to be just talking about what happens when the quadratic formula doesn't come out so nice and it's got a square root in it that doesn't come out so perfectly. Like if it's a square root of 36, it's easy, it's 6. What's the square root of 81, for instance? It's 9. Okay, and then you just plug in a 9 and you go from there. It's easy. But what if it's like square root of 54? Well, then you have to know how to do simplifying square roots. So square root of 54, you can break into the square root of something and the square root of something being multiplied. What times what makes 54? 9 times 6 is 54. Good. And if the square root of 9 is a nice number, which it is, 3, then the answer is 3 and 6. You get that? All right. How about the square root of 20? Do it on your remarks app. Zoom in super big and show me you know what I'm talking about. Reduce, square root of 20. Simplest radical form. Good. Yup. Yep. Too small, can't see. Good. Nope. Because the square root of 4 is not 4. There you go. Good, 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 good. Okay, I think you get it. So that one comes out to root 4 and root 5. And root 4 is nice. So it's 2 root 5. There we go. Okay, good enough on that. I think you guys are pretty quick on that, so I don't need to talk about that much more. All right, do you get that A, B, and C are this number, and this number? Okay, that's all you got to do. But if you're actually going to do this, and I have A is 1, and B is 9, and C is 10, there's 2 ways to give your answer. Simplified radical form. Okay, hold on. I am recording. It's recording right there. Okay, thank you for checking, but I am recording. I don't know why there's no red line, though. That's a little weird. Let me pop that up again. It makes the red line disappear when the recording thing goes down. Okay, anyway, back to simplified radical form. That will mean that the answer looks like this, like 5 plus or minus the square root of 20 all over 5. But you need to be able to be good at reducing those. Like the square root of 20 can be simplified, and then some canceling might be able to happen. All right. The decimal form is where you just grab the calculator, and when your answer would have been like 5 plus or minus the square root of 17 all over 2, you just use the calculator to figure out what square root of 17 is, and then do the answer as a decimal. You do it once with a plus and once with a minus. You go 5 plus the square root of 17 over 2, and then once with a minus, 5 minus the square root of 17 over 2. And these would be your 2 answers. You just figure out what decimal that is and do it. Okay, that's decimal form. That's the easy part because you can use a calculator. Let's talk more about that simplified radical form for a second. Let's say you ended up with one like this. 5 plus or minus the square root of 50 all over 15. Would you please write that one down? And the first thing I want you to do is simplify the square root of 50. Right now. I have squeaky shoe syndrome today. Feels a little bit like I'm stepping on a frog. All right, I'm seeing lots of people say it's 5 root 2. You guys agree? Okay, so then, am I done? No, I'm not. Because it's 5 plus or minus 5 root 2 all over 15. And do you get that there's something that can cancel here? The 5s. There's a 5 here, there's a 5 here, and there's a 5 in there. Okay, and when they cancel, this is important, they don't disappear. Like if I had 5 over 5, it cancels, but it doesn't disappear and make the answer 0. It makes these a 1 and this a 1, and then you get the answer as 1 over 1, which is 1. So when you're canceling something, it makes it into a 1. So, just wait. So when I cancel this 5, it becomes a 1. I cancel that 5, it becomes a 1. When I cancel that 5, it's a 3 times 1, which is 3. Okay? So final answer would be, and again, a lot of people think, it canceled, so there's nothing in front. No, there's a 1 in front. 1 plus or minus root 2 over 3. And that's that simplest radical form. Simplified radical form. Because it's still got a radical in it. Still got a little square root sign. That's called a radical. And it's still got, things to do, but you can't go any farther because you don't know what the square root of 2 is. So the simplified radical form is this. And if you had to do decimal form, you just grab the calculator, figure out what the square root of 2 is. It's like 1.6. Then you go 1 plus that over 3. And then you do 1 minus that over 3. You get 2 answers. Yes. So let's say they didn't all cancel. Like let's say it was 5 plus or minus 2 root 3 all over 10. Well, 5 goes into 5, but 5 doesn't go into 2. So if they don't go into all 3 of them, then you can't cancel anything and you have to leave it alone. So this one, I'd have to leave alone. Even though the 5 and the 10 seem like they want to be reduced, it can't work unless it goes into all 3. Here and here and here. Okay? So this one's done. That is simplified radical form. What if I needed a decimal form? You just grab the calculator, figure out what square root of 3 is, take 2 times that, you get a decimal right here. And then you do it once with plus and once with minus. All right, I think you get it. And your assignment is right here, and it's 7.4b. So you have a bunch of time to work on that now. And if you look under Schoology, it will be the one for today's date. Today's date is the 8th. So 7.4b assigned on the 8th. So you got a bunch of time to work, and then we're going to grade last night's homework after that. So I'll tell you when that happens. Yes.